Greetings on a Wednesday with the Ken Matthews Report. Wednesday, October 19th, 2022. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for subscribing. More information is at kenmatthewsmedia.com, depending on where you're watching. When you go to Ken Matthews Media, you go to the top, click on the right. It says Get Ken for 10 if you're interested. And once you get the subscription, if you could tell 46 of your friends every other day, I'm just doing some math. That'd be great. So I do appreciate that. But I hope you're having a good Trump day. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Very quickly, I want to start off with Jill, if I can. I'm sorry. Dr. Jill Biden. Dr. Jill, I don't know if you saw this. I believe it was over the weekend. Or maybe it was Monday night. Do they still do Monday Night Football? I don't know. I stopped following most major professional sports after the wokeness kicked in. But here's the crowd really not loving Jill very well. It does sound like booing. I'm sure the media has already turned it into something like they were saying, "We love Jill" or something. Are they doing "Let's Go Biden" or "Let's Go Brandon"? Or it's hard to tell. There's a lot of boos in there, but there seems to be some type of chant going on. These people are trying to get the people here to follow along, like they did in 2020. Sounds like "Let's Go Brandon" to me. It does sound like that. But it might be "Let's Go Biden." Who knows? Because in this world of altered reality, I don't even know. I don't even know what they're saying. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know if it's "Let's Go Brandon," "Let's Go Biden." Somebody call the police. I mean, it is Philly. So can we open up on the light side today? I really think we should. Let's do that. We got some heavy stuff. We have some heavy stuff to talk about today, but this is oh my gosh. This is one of the accounts I follow on Twitter, because I'm still on Twitter, which is amazing. I just think the only reason I'm on Twitter is because I'm blocked. I think I'm just a placeholder on Twitter with the same amount of followers for like the last 5 years. So anyway, but I have to share this with you. This is an exciting new Mercedes-Benz USA campaign. I don't know if you've heard it or seen it yet. Hashtag I am Mercedes, International Day of the Girl. Once upon a time, we gave a dream a name. Let's see what Mercedes-Benz is doing to get you to buy cars now. Here we go. Let's go.
I am Mercedes, and I am powerful. I express myself through music and art. It connects me to others and myself. I want to use my voice to make a change.
Wow. Whew. How many people, be honest, how many of you are running to the dealership right now? I am Mercedes, and a windshield wiper costs $83. Okay, stop. All right. So basically what they did, I'm sure they threw it around the room. You know what I mean? Like the millennials do. Okay? Like the New York ad agency experts do. I'm sure they threw it around the room and said, "I got it. Jimmy, I got it. I'm sorry, Timmy, I got it. What we're going to do is we're going to get girls that are named Mercedes. Get it? Because Mercedes is a woman's name, and our brand is Mercedes. So we'll get people to go on social media, okay? And this will appeal to the woke, and they'll just talk about the awesomeness of being a girl named Mercedes, what they're going to do. And then people will flock to the dealership, and they'll make sure that they don't say anything, that's unwoke at the dealership, because then the Mercedes police will come.
I'm Mercedes, and I'm going to make a difference. I'm passionate about sustainable fashion, finding ways to reduce waste and produce things ethically brings fashion back as an art form.
Get your pre-owned certified Mercedes now.
Nice healthcare.
By the way, pre-owned Mercedes on fire right now, price-wise. Because remember, there was that gap in a lot of the manufacturers, not just Mercedes, but domestic brands too, and everything. That there was a gap in getting new product, so the used product had a premium. Let's go to another one. This is one of the new Mercedes-Benz campaigns that is going to inspire you to.
I am Mercedes, and I'm going to revolutionize healthcare. I want to advocate for healthcare reform. I would make the healthcare in this country accessible for people to receive the treatment that they require.
I am Mercedes, and we just went off the politically correct cliff, and we pissed off even more people, because we're going to work in politics now. We're going to work in politics. Okay. All righty.
If it wasn't ingenious, then people would have thought of it before.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. Okay. All right. And what's your name? What's your name, young lady? And hi, young lady. What's your name? And has Joe Biden ever inappropriately touched you? Okay, let's get back to your name is Mercedes. The car's name is Mercedes. And that will be how much you want to bet if it hasn't already happened. And I may have missed it, because this was a few days ago. I was just going through Twitter for fun, and this was a few days ago. So for all I know, Good Morning America, they already did an in-depth report on the genius. I mean, who would have thought? A woman named Mercedes, a car named Mercedes. That's it. That's our campaign. Let me get you a check for $2.6 million. Great job. Great job. Here's your bonus. Sorry.
I am Mercedes, and I'm unstoppable. Good. I feel the most powerful when the whistle blows. Soccer has taught me to stand up for myself, taught me confidence. When I make a save, it feels like I'm on top of the world.
Oh, do we have time for, please. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Come on. Come on, people. Come on. You want to hear more Mercedes, right?
I am Mercedes, and I am determined. Getting into a prestigious college was a huge accomplishment. I'm proud that I went after that goal, continuing to strive for even bigger goals. That's how I define success.
I feel bad. I feel bad for other women named after cars. I don't know about you, but I almost sense a little, dare I say, bias. And what about Lexus? What about Porsche? Did they do hi, I'm Porsche. A tire cost $1,000. This would be a good one. And may I suggest this? I really would, because I put some thought into it. How exciting is that? So we had the Mercedes campaign for, what was it, the International Day of the people who identify as producer. I don't even know. I don't know. It was some ridiculous thing. So we had all the Mercedes, and then I haven't seen any Lexus. I actually there was someone in my class named Lexus when I taught college like 15 years ago. They called her Lex, which I thought was cool. I thought Lex was a neat. Okay, so we have Porsche. What about Infinity? Has anybody named their daughter Infinity? Lotus? Just throwing it out there. I know there are sub-female names also. Like Alfa Romeo has a model named after a woman. But I think the biggest thing, and I think we really have to focus on this, if you really want to reach out to people that can afford a damn Mercedes, I think you should, or any car for that matter. What about this? Work with me. Hi, I'm Cougar. I forget who makes Cougar, but didn't they just bring the Cougar back? But Cougars are big. I mean, have you been to Happy Hour? Cougars are in, man. And I got to tell you, the older I get, you notice that Cougars they're all that and a bag of chips. So those, I would go with those. And I think we should get a little serious now, don't you? We really should. And this is nothing to joke about, but it is this here is Philadelphia. This is on Delaware Avenue. This is a police video. Assault on police. And of course, they're asking for information. A large group of people riding dirt bikes. Okay, this right here, a large group of people riding dirt bikes and ATVs. This tells me, based on my in-depth analysis of woke politics and progressive liberal failing cities, that this large group of people, they've chosen not to describe them in any way. One of the riders crashes dirt bike by the gas pumps, immediately fled on foot. They left the dirt bike behind, reportedly stolen out of New Jersey. See what else we have here. Officers attempted to secure the stolen bike. Here we go. All right, let's take a look here. All right, so it's hard for me to tell that the police are being surrounded here, as you can see. This is standard fare in Philly, by the way. This is a standard gas pump experience at the wrong time of day in Philadelphia. And I'm trying to look, it's hard for me to tell if, and maybe you can help me out, are these white supremacists or white nationalists? I'm trying to see, is there a MAGA hat anywhere? Let's see. Once again, we're watching actual law enforcement video of a group of, I would call them a gang. Now, for people who aren't familiar with commuting in and out of Philly, there are groups like this. They're not like your typical motorcycle gang. You know, they're not a bunch of low riders. I'm going to go out on the limb, and I could be wrong here, but I don't think any of these individuals are U.S. veterans. But there's a lot of veterans in motorcycle clubs that are law-abiding and do wonderful stuff, great things. And I've seen it for years and years and years. People love being in a motorcycle club, et cetera, et cetera. The big bikes, the Harleys, they ride with their spouses and their friends and, you know, okay. So this is a different kind of vibe here. And you see this a lot in Philadelphia. It's not unusual to be heading into Philadelphia. Maybe you're on, what is it, 76? Yeah, 76 East. Depending on the time of day, you might see one or two of these guys on their front wheel only or on their back tire only. And they go by it. It's kind of exciting, I must say. They are skilled. I mean, they're criminal thugs, but they're skilled. Still no word yet. Now, this guy has red on. So I'm not sure if he is a MAGA Trump supporter. I can't tell. Can you tell if he's a white supremacist? It's hard for me to tell. Because, see, I saw the headline, and it just said people. So that led me to believe that somebody was told in the news media, don't bring up the fact that we have a bunch of young black men attacking cops again. So I won't. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, wow. What do we got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 at least. Here we go. City of Brotherly Love. Here we go. Now, this might be, I mean, this is a red bike. Hold on. I want to see if there's anything that says Make America Great Again on it. Make America. I don't see it. And this is the top. Is this a Trump hoodie? Again, I think we've all heard it. We've heard it from Josh Shapiro, the Attorney General of Pennsylvania. We've heard it from that lying fool, Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, that, the biggest threat is white supremacist, white nationalist, MAGA insurrectionist and terrorist. So we're just trying to get to the truth here. Okay. All right, here we do have one offender description. Light can, let me go back. I want to get this because we could solve this crime. We could solve this crime. Hold on a minute. Stop that, people. All right. Light-complected male wearing a black baklava face mask, red hooded sweatshirt, black sweatpants, riding a red and white dirt bike. So I don't know. I think what we need to do is we need to get this video on The View or maybe Don Lemon's new morning show, which from what I understand is just, he's killing it. We need to get Don Lemon to review this tape and identify if that individual on the motorcycle in red is a honky, a cracker, or whitey. So I'm sure we can get the media involved, but we're still looking there. All right. We did Joe Biden. Let me get Joe Biden's screen out of there. All righty. Okay. All righty. Now, this is kind of weird. This is a interesting show today. Well, I'd like to think they all are, but check this out. This was last week. This was a week ago, all right? I had to get some water. This is a week ago, all right? And here is what happened a week ago. There were multiple explosions around 2:30 a.m. into Wednesday morning. So it was truly about a week ago. On top of the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. And what I find interesting about this is nobody covered it. That's what's weird. No, I mean, independent journalists covered it, but no one covered it.
There is speculation here on YouTube.
Okay, so I'm going to put this guy. He's on Rumble. I forget his name. I'll see if I have the ID here. Hold on a second, because I want to give him credit for it. I forget what his handle is on Rumble. All you got to do, though, if you want to find it, go on Rumble. Just type in this exact headline. I'll pause for a minute so you can see it. WTF, explosions at FBI headquarters Tuesday night. And you'll be able to pull it up. And then you can decide. I'm going to let it play a little bit. I mean, it's a long tape. I'm not going to take up the whole show with this or the whole segment. But I did want to share it with you because I want to share it with you for a couple reasons. Number one, how is it that at 2:30 in the morning, there are, and I counted over 20. There were over 20 explosions, well over 20 explosions, on the roof of the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C., and no one reported it except a handful of people, including myself, but a handful of people. One guy was there on the ground, and he videotaped it. He didn't do anything illegal. He didn't break the law. He didn't trespass, nothing, okay? He actually called law enforcement. And one person actually said, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you hearing things? So I'm just curious. What do you think?
As you hear behind us, there are explosions going off in the streets of Washington, D.C., emanating from the rooftop of the FBI headquarters down on Pennsylvania Avenue. very loud, and they are happening every 10 to 20 seconds. We don't know what they are, and we're gonna try to figure it out, I guess. Keep trying to figure it out. The streets of DC are pretty quiet this time of night, but yeah, loud explosions behind us here.
Okay, so this guy, and I apologize for forgetting his name, but check out his Rumble channel, and you can find it by just going back in this video. You'll see the title. It'll come right up on Rumble. All right. So the interesting thing about this is he makes his way all the way, and we keep hearing the explosions. Now, up until this point, you could say, well, it could be anything. Could be firecrackers. Could be a car backfiring. Of course, that isn't what a car backfiring sounds like. But he makes his way all the way. Let's see here. All the way to the FBI headquarters. And that's where it is right now. It's at the FBI headquarters. So now it's a whole different ball of wax. Now we have the explosions on the roof of the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. Not one, not I thought I heard something, or no, these are explosions complete with smoke and shaky camera, and you can decide what they are.
Anyway.
Now, I don't know if you saw the smoke, but there's more smoke. There you go. Do you see the smoke?
What's going on?
So this is the kind of thing that people on the left or wokies or normies, you tell them this, you say, hey, did you hear about those explosions in D.C., like on the roof of the FBI? It was really weird. They'll just dismiss it. And that's what the news media does. But I think this is a big deal. This is a big deal. I mean, if you lived in a town of 5,000 people, and there are plenty small towns across the country, that's a real small town, right? I've lived in a town smaller than 5,000 people before. And it's a small town. But let's just pretend in your town, on top of the police department, there were explosions starting at 2:30 in the morning and continued for 15, 20 minutes or more. Just explosions. Was it a shotgun? Was it an explosive device? Was it a firecracker? Don't you think someone would have some level of interest in it? See, that's the problem. That's my biggest issue with my deep contempt for corporate media that calls itself news. This should have been covered. This should have been covered. When you look at the ridiculous, trivial garbage that news media covers, both locally and nationally, you know, it could be anything. This is a big deal, right? So it's 2:30 a.m. in the morning. The entire top floor, the lights are on. What's that all about? Now, Washington does look like this late at night, especially downtown Washington. Because downtown Washington, there's really not enough to steal, and there's not enough opportunity for raping and pillaging in this part of Washington, in the political, corporate, K Street, consultant part of Washington. Because the people that own this and work there, many of them have secure places for their vehicles, or they're not even there. So that's why you don't see anybody. That's why if you went to certain parts of the country at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, it would be like 10 p.m. at night. You couldn't tell the difference. Not like that in Washington. I mean, Washington shuts down I was in Washington 2 years ago, and I went out to eat at 8:30 at night, and it was deserted. I walked around the Capitol, and except for some security people, there was nobody. So, but don't you have any interest in this? This is fascinating to me.
So guys, I'm sharing to my page. This is hot news.
I'm going to move it a little bit ahead, and then I'll post it and you can find it. But it is on Rumble. Again, I forget the gentleman's name, but you can look his channel up and this video just by pulling the title off where I'm sharing it. I want to just get, there we go. I want to get close. He gets closer. And this continues. Now, remember, it started 10 minutes ago. And he was several blocks away. And he was heading toward the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C., where most of the lights on the top floor are on. There are explosions on the roof. This is not made up. I don't think this is some delusional prank, because I've watched this guy before, and he's been on scene with protest and things of that sort, and motorcades and things like that. He's a citizen journalist, all right?
Justice Department is immediately to the south of the FBI headquarters. The IRS is along here as well.
So you folks watching, my great subscribers at the Ken Matthews Report, KenMatthewsMedia.com, if you want to weigh in, you cops and military, sometimes to me it sounds like gunfire, and then sometimes it sounds like firecrackers. So you tell me, especially you men and women who've been in combat. I know we have combat veterans in this audience. So you tell me, what do you think this is? It's just interesting. And when you think about what's going on with the FBI is at the epicenter right now of trying to take down Trump and trying to target Americans. And then this goes on all night almost. Well, not all night, but
National Defense Office. It's a little bit down the street, and of course the FBI headquarters again, fills out the whole block here.
I mean, is it an explosion? Is it 3-round burst? Is it 3 people all firing once? I don't know. You tell me. But this is the type of thing that if you shared with a leftist, they wouldn't even entertain it. Even if you said, oh, you got to see the video, they wouldn't even look at it. This is why people are so stupid. This is why people are so uninformed in this country, because every time a citizen journalist produces something that really is interesting, that you would think the news would want to cover. I mean, if you were the local affiliate in Washington, D.C., wouldn't you want to do a story on this for like 3 minutes on the 6 o'clock news and put up a number and say, if you know anything about this noise or this strange activity going on at, 2:33 a.m. last Wednesday morning in Washington, D.C., on the roof of the FBI, get in touch with us. There might be a story there, but this proves that unless the handlers or the government or your boss tells you what to cover, you're not going to cover it. That's the funny thing about this. But to me, this is news. I mean, look, this is as big as Halloween pie recipes coming up on the morning show tomorrow. We'll tell you how to make those spooky drinks for Halloween parties. This is just as big, isn't it?
And a giant building. It is a giant, brutalist kind of monstrosity of a building. A lot of people work there. It's kind of a big gash in the city, frankly, because again, there's no restaurants on the block. It's not very hospitable to walk around, and there's a huge security apparatus.
You see the smoke? So now he's right across the street. And every time there's that noise, it's smoke. So again, I'm trying to figure out, is this a ballistic thing? Is it, a friend of mine watched it and he said, initially it could have been some type of purge of a pressurized piece of equipment, maybe. Maybe there's steam in the building or so, I don't know. But it's not unusual to have those either in the basement or on the roof where you can purge them. But that would explain one or two, right? So what explains this going on all morning?
Surrounding it. And, basically the deal is the FBI headquarters, like most parts of the, federal area of D.C. is...
See the smoke? See it?
It's basically...
I mean, if I didn't see the smoke, I would think a possible prank. Okay? And you could also make that presumption initially when he starts reporting on it. You could say, well, that could be anything. That could be, that could be people, blowing up some rock to dig deep in a drainage water thing. I don't know. But once you get across from it and you see and hear, where is the smoke coming from? This does not look like Photoshop to me.
9 to 5 type building. I assume there some people work 24/7 there.
Now, I do notice since it started, we're now at what, 3 a.m. in the morning? Now we've got lights on here, lights here, lights here, lights. When it started, there were no lights. And then the entire top floor was lit. Now, you might think, well, what does it even matter? Well, you and I pay for the FBI, and they're climbing up our butt right now. The FBI is doing everything they can to destroy MAGA, destroy people that support Trump, destroy Americans first, take away our gun rights, and surveil us. So I would think explosions on the roof of the FBI headquarters building in D.C., I would think that is news.
But here we are in the middle of the night, downtown D.C.
That's gunshots to me. I don't know. That sounds like gunshots to me. And I have no combat experience, but I do have range experience, and that sounds like you're eating lunch over by the trout pond, taking a break with your kid, and you're hearing that in the background because people are on the range. Okay. I'm not going to belabor it, but I did want to point it out to you. Sorry about that. I do want to point it out to you, and that wraps up the first segment. So let me know what you think about that. Big segment coming up. It's going to blow you away. This is the one I talked about yesterday that's going to blow you away. I wanted to start off a little light today with the little comedy at the very beginning, and then the mystery here. This is a mystery to me. See, that video that fascinates me. I mean, I've already called people in Washington to get some feedback on this. And people, my family's like, why are you so obsessed? I want to know. How often does it happen? If it happened at your school, would it be a big deal? Think about it. If you got up at 2:30 in the morning and you live a block from the school and you heard that and you walked over to the school and you saw smoke coming from the roof of the school, wouldn't you be like, what the heck is going on here? Or maybe not. Again, we are a very, not all of us, but as a population, we're very complacent. We are still afraid of authority. And that was, the dynamic and relationship that Americans have with authority, that's been programmed into us since an early age. That's why law enforcement and DOJ and things of that sort, they were held in such high esteem. And even politicians were. And now they're just, they're scumbags or liars, whatever, and people just laugh at them, but most of them. But we've been told for decades, and you never mind, don't you worry about what's going on around you. Don't you worry, don't you wonder and question and investigate. You just mind your own business there, citizen. We'll take it from here. Just give us your damn money, your tax money. And that, what I just said, kind of sets the stage for our next segment, which you do not want to miss. I'm going to give you a lot of sources, and I'll give you the names of people that are just brilliant researchers if you want to dive deeper into this in our next segment. All right. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching.